Good morning. I'm just switching gears here a little bit. So I love that. Let's take a breath. It's not difficult really to go from singing to speaking for me, because I actually do remember singing before speaking. I think that's where it all began. That's a little peek into the personality right there. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Unity in the Olympics. And my name is Stephan Plummer. It's my first time visiting, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me today and inviting me to be here. I really appreciate it. And what a beautiful drive this morning, coming all the way from Linwood, Washington is where I live. And that's about 15 miles north of Seattle. If you saw in the bulletin today, and as was introduced, my talk title is Spirituality, Love, Life, Integrity, and Being Human. And it's also the first Advent Sunday, which is hope and faith. And I thought about, how am I going to talk about all that? Like when I came up with, that's my talk title. I love how God works. It's like, Stephan, you can make it simple. It's all about music for you. And you're the musician today. Hello. I love how Spirit shows up that way. But anyway, so me expecting to hold your attention for the length of my talk, I was talking to one of my friends, and she said, Stephan, humans have the attention span of a gnat. Make your talk simple. I just covered the subject of being human right there. Check that one off. Seriously, I did a Google search. I Google a lot, actually. I did a Google search on the attention span of a gnat. And what came up was, actually something came up, was to be able to pay attention to something only for a very short time, but before becoming bored and starting to think about something else, like dinner or so forth and so on. And then it referenced, most teenagers seem to have the attention span of a gnat. Okay, well, that's a different subject for a different talk on a different day. Today, let's start our talk off by talking about love. How about it? Yeah. Love. Don't you love that word? I love that word. One of the things I was aware of is this plant. Can everybody see the plant on Zoom? This plant is loved. It's growing right up to the roof there. I want to hang out in a place and with people who have a plant like this. Look at the tree. I mean, it's a beautiful tree, but hello? Can we give this plant some love?
Love music.
Yes, and look, this one too. Wow, you guys got it going on over here. I'm so glad to be here. So I want this talk to be inclusive, if you haven't noticed already. But I do encourage audience participation, because I don't know you and you don't know me, and I just want to get to know you. I love people. I care about what's going on out there. I want to get in your world, okay? So yeah, love. The first thing that I think of is music, obviously, right? I grew up in a large family full of musicians. I was the 12th of 13. I was the next to the youngest. And so I heard every genre of music you could think of. Music from the 40s, 50s, 60s. My mother loved the old-timey gospel bluegrass music. And it's interesting because you have a radio out there that reminds me of the one that she would turn on and start dancing. And my mother totally believed in God. And she smoked cigarettes too. So, but that was like back in the days. That's what people did. That was just a part of life, Anyway, so music was a daily thing. And for me, it was playing the guitar, and everyone had a different style. And, we grew up singing in church. Actually, it was interesting. I started really singing at 10, but when I was 5 years old, they would put me in charge of the children's music program. I'm 5 years. Yeah, you're in charge of the children's music program. So we would meet on Monday nights actually, and we would meet downstairs. And deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Do you know that song? So songs like that where you don't need to read or write to be able to sing. And they would always be having like these treats in the back, and I could hear them making the food. And often, sometimes, I would just right in the middle of a song, I'd take off right back there, and I would be standing there looking, and then somebody would come up and say, "Oh, honey, no," and then they would lead me back to the stage. I was like, "We have to finish the songs first, and then we'll have our treats." So that's where music started for me, just to give you a little idea of my background. My mom, she was just, it was that music that she listened to was really soul touching. It really was. That's just the type of music that is. And but recently I was at lunch with some friends, and we were having a great time and enjoying our meal. We love Thai food. We have any people here who love Thai food? I've heard there's some really good Thai restaurants. I'm gonna have to talk to you about what's up here, up this way. But anyway, so we're having a meal, and I was mentioning to them about one of the subjects, love, and I said, I was in a seminar once years ago where the seminar leader said that oftentimes where our ideas of love come from are when we're growing up and we hear a song. And say, "Oh, that's what love is," right? Or "That's what love is." And so my friend hollered out, "Downtown." And I said, "Oh, the Petula car." Yeah. So we looked up the words, okay? Well, here's this backstory a little bit about Melissa. She grew up in the country. Actually, she's from Oklahoma. She grew up out in the country. There's no lights out there. It's way out in the country. Very rarely. And I was in the same boat in Virginia. We're way out in the country. You rarely get to go to town. But when you do, it's really a production. You get to have lunch. You get to shop. And, all the lights. It's just beautiful. So I totally get this would be about love. And anyway, so the words, some of the words are, when you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise seems to, and the hurry seems to help, I know, downtown. Just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk while the neon lights are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure, downtown. Everything's waiting for you. And so we're just reveling in that. And then my other friend, Megan, says, "It's a sin." I said, "You mean the song by the Pet Shop Boys?" Yes. Here's some of those words. When I look back on my life, it's always with a sense of shame. I've always been the one to blame. For everything I long to do, no matter when or where or who, has one thing in common too. It's a sin. Everywhere I've ever done, everything I've ever done, everything I'll ever do, every place I've ever been, everywhere I'm going to, it's a sin. At school, they taught me how to be so pure in thought and word and deed. They didn't quite succeed. I mean, I just think that just cracked me up right there. I mean, talk about being human. I grew up, that could have totally been my theme song. Actually, I have a brother who's a Pentecostal minister. His name is Hubert. Has a church there in Virginia. And yeah, we were taught, everything's pretty much a sin. And then my mom would come chase us all out of the chicken house so that she said that her chickens weren't laying eggs because we're all in there hollering. So, and by the way, sweep out the chicken house while you're in there. But yeah, so I grew up under this, I won't say it was a pot over my spirit, but it felt something like that sometimes. And I kept trying to kick it off, I'm so glad that, I'm glad where I came from. I'm proud of it. I've learned so much, and the music. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Pentecostal Pentecostal love music at least.
They do.
Some don't like that.
Oh, they love the music, but it has to have God in it. So I had this thing about, because I love all music, I played a little trick on them. They're probably just finding out today. I decided, you know what? I want to sing anything I want to sing in church. So that began my career in changing the lyrics to words, lyrics to songs. And so I would just take out some words and I put God in there. And we'll talk later, some of the songs I got to sing in church. There was never a song that I didn't sing in church then. And they never knew the difference. Well, now they do, so. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so one of the songs that comes to mind for me from the 1970s is Captain and Tennille's song, which is called Muskrat Love. Oh, we have, you know what they did with the synthesizer? If you look up muskrat, which I Googled, if you look up the sound of a muskrat, it sounds just like what they were able to do on those instruments, and it was right in tune with the song. Beautiful. Okay, so here's some of the words. Muskrat, muskrat, candlelight, doing the town and doing it right. In the evening, it's pretty pleasing. Muskrat Susie, Muskrat Sam, doing the jitterbug out in Muskrat Land. And they shimmy. Sam is so skinny. And they whirl and they twirl and they tango, singing a jingo, a jango. Floating like the heavens above, looks like muskrat love. I love that line, singing and jinging a jango. None of my songs, I have to take a page from their book, writing some songs. What does the Bible say about love? In 1 Corinthians 13, which is one of my favorite parts of the Bible, it says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. And Jesus spoke of agape love, encouraging us to love each other unconditionally, even if it is difficult to do so sometimes, and even if our tastes in music are different. I'm surprised at the genres of music that I have learned to love just by hanging out with different people and hearing what they love. And I would, what do you love about that music? It was amazing to find that. It's so funny that you say that, because I had a project once, a class. So this gentleman said, looks forward to a rap song from me. And I did write, how many people are familiar with Ernest Holmes? Yeah. Okay, so I was doing a class called Beyond Limits. And one of the class projects was to do a class project, whatever your thing was. And I decided I had a little cassette tape of Ernest Holmes speaking. And I took that and I actually did write a rap song. I got a rap beat going and Ernest Holmes speaking. And I presented it to the class. I mean, it was so cool to hear Ernest Holmes, who was very wordy. I mean, you know how many books he wrote? And I love everything he's ever said too, by the way. He's so full of wisdom. But to hear him doing a rap song, so thank you. That's a great memory of mine. I'm curious, can we just take a moment and what songs come to mind for you? This is our interacting part here a little bit. Is there any song? Yes. Oh. I'll let Melissa know.
I have more energy, but I can be in the city. I think I'm more concrete than I am trees.
Yeah.
I love trees. And they
It is a great song. How about somebody else? Walking on sunshine. Oh, and don't it feel good? Oh, yeah, now. All right, who else?
Up on the roof.
Up on a roof. Do you like the older version or the
The older version, yeah.
this so who was that by? Getting me down.
It's on the tip of my tongue somewhere.
Is it the Coasters?
It could be.
Up on a roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him one time. There was only two original guys left in the band. The rest of them were new. They did all those But I think it was the coasters.
Yeah, the coasters up on a roof. I just love the idea of being up on the roof and the way they described it up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so full of love. Yeah, who else?
I can see clearly now.
Muskrat Love.
Muskrat Love, yes. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Woo! And here comes the sun. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Moon River, wider than a mile, wider than a mile. Oh, the lyrics. And who sang that? I mean, so many people covered that, I know. Was it Andy Williams? Yes. What a voice. What a crooner. I love, one of the crooners that I love is Jack Jones. Anybody familiar with Jack Jones? He did the theme from The Love Boat. The Love Boat. Yeah. But he such a fabulous voice. He's like in his 80s and still performing. I was going to book a flight just to go down and see him in Palm Desert. I didn't do that. That was a few years ago, but he was in his 80s and still performing. So, okay, so back to the Bible, the commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself, and there is no greater commandment than these is to love God with all of your soul, mind, heart, and strength. Now let's talk about life. I'm going to make it really simple. I'm going to bring it back to a song. You know I am. You're getting to know me already, aren't you? So Joni Mitchell wrote a song about life. It's called Both Sides Now. I really don't know life at all. And to me, life is a beautiful song, simple and true, full of joy. I don't take a lot of effort to write songs. When I write them. So I had a friend show up wanting to write a song with me, and she showed up at my house she couldn't carry another book if she tried. And she wanted us to write a song about, she brought all the spiritual books. There was Book of Buddha, there was the Bible, there was the Tao, there was, all of these. I said, okay, well, let's just put the books down now, right? And let's write a song. The empty page stares back at me. An endless sea of possibilities. Pen to the page, I pray God, help me write them down. You can just write, you can write a song about whatever you want to. What is a song that's calling to your heart in your life right now? Just what do you love about life? Tell me about your life out here on the beautiful peninsula, right?
The song in the wind this morning with the leaves rolling around.
Ah, yes. Let's just take a moment with that. Yes. Who else?
The sound of children running around and playing and giggling and laughing.
I see the child in you right now. Is that the child, one of them you were talking about?
Probably the children would have liked to play more than she did.
Yeah. But isn't it great that we get to go back? People talk about regrets. I have friends who talk about regrets, but I say, regrets. But what about learning? What about growing? I mean, isn't that what we're here for? Like, am I really here to just regret what I didn't do? I mean, I do at times look back on that, and I do to this day, and probably always will. But it's with a sense of appreciation about because sometimes not knowing what you don't want to do is as great as knowing what you do want to do, or being able to say no when you're like, the thing with us is that we always were saying yes to everything, because that's, we were born in the South and that's what you do. And I say lots, more seldom, but I mean it more when I do say yes. So that's a wisdom, like we're not born with wisdom. We get wisdom by what? Experiences. So bring on the experiences. I want to be more wise. So the one of the things that we were taught, is that God created us and breathed life into us, and that's what made us a living soul. And one of the songs that comes to me about that, and the Holy Spirit and the breath of heaven. Amy Grant wrote a song, Breath of Heaven. Breath of heaven, hold me together, be forever near me, breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, light in my darkness, pour over me your holiness, breath of heaven. Has anyone heard that song? Such a beautiful song. And believing in something greater than myself and having a relationship, where my will meshes with God's will. And like, I know that that's happening because I know it is. I experience it. And so, I don't know, it was a few years ago. I said, God, I'm getting older. Should I keep saying, the thing about the conversations that I have with Spirit, God speaks to me right after I'm done. Like, I don't usually have to wait. There's no like breath in between or nothing. And I just done and then done. And so I said, God, should I keep singing? I'm getting older. Because, I was thinking about, is music, performing music, is that just for young people or, am I, and I heard you came in singing, go out singing. And I thought, wow, there's an answer for you. So I just, like I said, I'm so appreciative of being able to be up here and to sing and to speak. What a wonderful opportunity, really just to delight in it. And I really hope that you delight in the things that's in your heart to do. Just whatever those things are. It could, for some reason, is somebody in here a builder? Because I see somebody building and hitting the nail.
Try to keep your thumbs out of the way. That's the main.
Don't they have electric machines for that nowadays?
Yeah, I've shot myself through the thumb.
Okay, let's go back to the old-fashioned way.
Either way, it's dangerous.
The lady and the woman in the back. What's your experience, ma'am? Yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I actually didn't build houses and stuff. I was a trade show carpenter, but we have built buildings in 2 days that were 2 stories and huge out of pallets of stuff, and then fix them all up and wire them all up and then take them down. So we had all kinds of systems. And I still build, my husband and I have built decks and awnings and pergolas and all kinds of stuff. Both retired carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of many things that I've done.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. What's your name?
Star.
And what's your name, sir?
Glenn.
Glenn. Thank you both for sharing. Thank you.
Song.
I remind you of a song. Okay, Glenn.
Daniel Namod song.
A Daniel Namod song.
That one.
That one. It's so interesting. I met Daniel Namod and I got to sing a bunch of his songs. And the song that everybody always thinks of me with the Daniel Namod song is Bring It On. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Yeah.
That one is close.
I'll have to, okay. I'm going to look that one up. I don't know that one. I thought I knew.
You're gonna love it.
All right. Remind me again, okay? I don't have a pen up here to write it down, but remind me before I leave, okay? That one, okay. So yeah, and then integrity, integrity is, I think of it as wholeness, like the spokes in a wheel, the legs of a table or a chair. And I think of the unchanging laws of God in the universe, like the other day I was vacuuming and the vacuum cleaner wasn't working. And I could pray to it. I could do whatever I want. But literally, I just went over and plugged it in, And I thought, wouldn't that be great? Like if I just would behave and not, why do I argue so much with God? I don't know. God loves me. Oh, God made me so unique and you so unique, right? Isn't it wonderful? Like we're 99% is the same and identical. And then there's this little spark that's called individuality. I mean, come on, 8 billion people, on the planet, and we're all different. We're all the same. You've ever noticed like when you yawn, Somebody else yawns usually, like, that breath being, connected. And then another part of my talk, I think, was forgiveness when I'm not in integrity, to actually clean that up, What about if I make a new agreement, say, I didn't do so well there. Can you forgive me? And can we clean that up? Can we go on now and have a deeper, richer relationship based on love? Because the love songs are great, but, love is really a commitment and a devotion, to whatever it is that calls us, For me, I love people, but I'm sort of like one of those people that I get up and perform, and then I speak, or I'm with you, and then I'm not, but I'm over there writing songs and stuff. It's like I'm like a monk or something. Like, I love you, and now I'm going to go away, and so I'm learning how to be with people more, because that's what my heart wants. So it really is that, but it's as the pendulum swings, and finding the balance in that. So how many people can relate to that at all? Yeah. I didn't know. I think it's sort of a human thing, isn't it? Yeah. So if we can be with each other and really be together in community like this. So, and speaking my word, like when I have a word that I actually do have a word, like when I say something, then something happens. In the beginning, God said, and, we were given through creativity, we were given a word. And what am I saying? Because whatever I'm saying, life is the experience of life. I am creating my life moment by moment. I really am. And can I take responsibility for that? Can I live in the wholeness of that and the completeness of that? And not live with regrets, in regret. I don't want to live in regret. I think of ick. I don't know.
So, you come and go baby, just like the rhythm of the blues.
Oh, 12-bar blues. Da 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 da. All right, I'm gonna play the blues now. So Karen, I just want to share this. Karen, this morning I said, Karen, I think you should do the talk, and I'll do the music. And Karen, she's pretty much a woman of, would you say, a few words? Yeah. But when she speaks, I'm like, oh, tell me that again. And she really shared a beautiful story with me about how her and her sister, when they were little, they would sneak downstairs and to watch the twinkling of the Christmas tree lights. And then they would sit down on the floor and very gingerly take each present, and they would shake the box or look at the box and what's in that. And then they would the two of them would guess at what those were. And then they would put them back. And I could just see her doing this, going through the motions of this, and then go back to bed. And she'd say, and sometimes we guess right, or, it would be a toy, or it would be a doll. But she said whenever the box opened, though, whatever was in it, she said love would come out. Isn't that a beautiful vision? Love would come out of the box. And then they would share a meal with her mom and dad, and the love and the conversation. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that, and for really ending the talk, bringing it all the way back to what it is, the love, the holiday sharing with each other, and just thank you. So wonderful to have wonderful friends, and I want to be your friend now. And thank you. Yeah, embrace that. I want to reach out my hands to you in love. Thank you so much for having me over here. And I want to now, let's go into prayer. How about a little meditation and prayer at the moment? So just feeling our feet on the floor. I'm going to go grab my guitar really quick, and I'll have the musician come back and play under the prayer. God is the ultimate, limitless presence. God is all there is. I accept right now, in this very moment, a physical manifestation of my bodily form being energized, flexible, strong, and healthy. I am aware that I am a well of joy and a light of peace and truly an abundance of love. I appreciate being aware of my divine center. I am beautiful, loving, joyful, powerful, full of life, and a light unto this world. You are beautiful, loving, joyful, powerful, full of life, and a light unto this world. I am filled with peace, knowing these truths about my being are so. I thank God and I accept this truth and wholeness. And so it is.